9-year-old boy and an 83-year-old man are dead after a fire at this home here behind me in Plainfield. We spoke to neighbors who woke up to see flames shooting out of this house.
They were about 10 to 12 feet high coming out of the windows in the front. The house was just engulfed in flames. I knew by that point it was just no stopping it, and nobody could go inside at that point.
Tragedy in Plainfield, a home engulfed in flames overnight with 2 people trapped inside. When firefighters arrived to the home on Norwich Avenue, they found a woman on the front lawn yelling that her husband and grandson were trapped inside that fire. But firefighters unable to go in at first because of the severity of the fire.
All we heard was this elderly woman screaming, "My grandson, my husband, my grandson, my husband." And we opened up the door and she said her house was on fire. And my husband got on the porch and looked across the street and saw the whole house engulfed in flames.
Lisa and her husband Paul were trying to console their neighbor as they were waiting for first responders. When firefighters got there, the fire had already engulfed that entire house. It wasn't until the fire was under control that they could enter that home, and at that point, it was too late. The fire marshal confirming the 83-year-old man and 9-year-old boy were both killed.
And it's just so heartbreaking for us because we've lived next door to them now for so many years, and for such a tragedy to happen and for us to see it, we were up all night praying for the family.
It was also a tragic loss for the volunteer firefighters in Plainfield who rushed to the call but were unable to save a life without risking another.
It's very difficult for them. You know, we've had one other fire this fall, a fatal fire this fall. We've had a fatal fire a couple of years ago of a young girl, a young 7 or 8-year-old girl, and it affects these individuals considerably because a lot of them have children that age.
Grief counselors were on hand at local schools today. The cause of this fire still under investigation. In Plainfield, Ashley Afonso, Fox 61 News.